Comics of 100 Years Ago, September 19th, 1924. It's Little Orphan Annie by Harold Gray. Miss Fair shakes hands with Annie as Mrs. Warbucks looks on, saying, "My dear, it was the most terrible thing." "Yes, you must tell me all about the burglary. And how are you, Annie?" "I'm great, thanks, Miss Fair," says Annie, as Miss Fair and Mrs. Warbucks have a seat. Miss Fair, of course, playing with her long necklace. Mrs. Warbucks playing with her long necklace. Mrs. Warbucks says, "Annie, run up and change your dress while Miss Fair and I have a chat." And again, Miss Fair got the hat on in the house. In our next panel, Mrs. Warbucks explains to Miss Fair, "And there were these 4 ruffians opening the wall safe, but I kept cool and watched my chance." "By the way, where was Annie? Did she wake up?" asks Miss Fair. And Annie rushes into the room as Mrs. Warbucks says, "Why, Annie, you certainly changed your dress in a hurry." Annie's got the big bow on and the patent leather shoes. I thought this strip was out of order because it seemed like Miss Fair didn't know about the burglary yet, but she is basically confirming Annie's story about Annie waking up and scaring the burglars and not Mrs. Warbucks.